are being used more in schools. Are they being used enough in the broader community, and why is that an important piece of the puzzle?
I'm not the right one to ask. Okay. I left juvenile justice about the time, just a few months after the civil citation program expansion started. Been using them in schools for a good while, but expanded into the general population. That's since my time there. I don't know. Chief Alexander may be able to speak to that.
Repeat that again.
It is, we're discussing civil citations and how they're being utilized more in our schools. Are they being utilized enough in the broader community, is the question. Do you
regarding juveniles?
Yes.
Okay, they're used in the schools as well as in the community. So in the city, we do issue civil citations, whether they're in the school or on the school property or not. So they are being utilized. It's just that they come with their own built-in restrictions, and I believe those restrictions are being addressed as we speak. So they are being utilized in the city beyond the scope of the school setting.
They are, and a report this was published last month, I want to say, by the Children's Campaign that broke down all 67 of Florida's counties and showed, you know, in Escambia County, for instance, it showed the difference between the utilization of civil citation with the Pensacola Police Department and with the county sheriff and within the schools. And actually at the last event, I provided a handout. I have a copy here and I have some copies afterwards, but it showed how much the county could save. And Escambia, if the Escambia County Sheriff increased its use of civil citation, which according to the study, it was only a 38% utilization rate, so meaning out of the 100% of kids that come in that are eligible, you know, only about a third are actually getting it. But if they increase that to about 90%, which some counties have, the county would save $1.3 million annually, right? Because I worked in a juvenile courthouse for 2 years, and each child that comes in front of that judge, there's probably about 7 people, you know, there's court reporters, prosecutors, public defenders, and it costs a lot of money. So that's where the money could be saved. In the Escambia County schools, they have a 67% utilization rate. That's higher than the county sheriff at large, but that could still be increased. The Pensacola Police Department is doing a great job. They have the highest rate of 78%. But again, if that was taken up to, you can give them a round of applause if you want. But if that was, this study showed that if that was increased to 90%, that would save the county over $500,000 a year. And that could start the storefront that Judge was talking about. And that could start the services that we need.
I want to answer that question because I think that's something that this community struggles with.
And I'll be brief. A young person gets a civil citation in Miami-Dade. No matter what the offense is, and regardless of if the victim wants them to or not. So you can have a store owner who says, I want them arrested because I believe in tough on crime and that kid needs to learn a lesson. In Miami-Dade, it doesn't matter. That kid commits a misdemeanor, keyword misdemeanor, for the first time, they get a civil citation. In Escambia County, we give discretion to the officer, we give discretion to the victim, and what that has done, and we've minimized the different types of misdemeanors that a kid can get a civil citation for. So we've drilled down to a policy that, while useful, isn't the most effective policy available. So what we have to do as a community is go back to the stakeholders and say, we want our kids to have the same opportunity a kid in South Florida has. We don't want our kids to have a lesser opportunity. And we found, while people talk about school-based arrest versus community arrest, our county has a very high community-based arrest rate. The school-based arrest rate isn't that high. However, when you look at the number of kids who are arrested for the first time, meaning they would not have gotten arrested had a school decided that this wasn't an arrestable offense, that number is 68%. So 68% of the first-time offenders who would qualify for a civil citation are getting arrested at school, not in the community. And so not only do we need to tell our stakeholders that we need a program that is equal to that of the rest of the state, but as the judge said earlier, we need to decriminalize things that happen at school, because those kids oftentimes would never have been arrested or entered the juvenile justice system had not a school official, school resource officer, or the mom of the kids whose braces are now broken said, I want this kid arrested.